It's Dave Joe once again for Punchout Boxing. Pleased to be joined by Shane Watson from S-Jam. How are you, mate?
All good, mate. How are you going on?
Yeah, good. Work, busy, just like you as well. You're all shorted up today. Enjoying the weather?
Yeah, well, you're looking better than me, man. You're getting slimmer every time, looking in better shape. I'm going the other way. I'm getting bigger.
It's just the runs, mate, to be fair. The running way, not actually having the runs. But how you been anyway? What's been going on in the world of S-Jam?
Yeah, good, man. So we've had... we haven't been too busy since Joe's last fight. We've had Lerone out, little tick over, get him a W, get him a fight with Grant Smith. Went really well, got a stoppage. Got some good fight news coming for him soon. We've got a busy weekend this one though. We've got Tommy Fletcher out on the Friday and obviously Big Johnny Fisher out on the Saturday, and a nice little fight for him, nice southpaw, which is a new experience against a guy called EMILIO SALAS. By the way, people look at his record and it's a bit deceiving to be honest, because he's beaten people like Nkosi Solomon, who was a very, very good amateur in America. He won the Golden Gloves and whatnot. He's beaten people like that and beaten them well. He won almost every round. Right, and for someone that's only been boxing for a few years, I think that's not an easy task. If you watch him, he's got a very amateur style as well. And Johnny not having many amateur fights, it's a new style for him. He's not really come up against that much. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a nice test. I think for 4 or 5 rounds, I think Johnny's going to have his hands full with Salas, because it's going to be a style he's going to have to work out. But I think eventually he'll close him down and potentially get the stoppage. If he wins on points, he wins on points. As long as he wins the fight, that's all I care about, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes when foreign fighters come over here, they're an unknown quantity. I mean, I've seen it myself at medium hall and small hall shows. When a Nicaraguan, for example, comes over, we know nothing about him and they put on a great performance. So hats off to him for taking this fight.
Yeah, and this guy goes around to all the gyms in America and spars all the best fighters. He sparred people like Wilder. He sparred people like some of the top fighters around in America. Like, and he's doing 8 or 9 rounds of these guys. And even just to be doing that alone, it speaks to the quality of the guy. That's because people look at his record. He's fighting in the away corner, given 3 days' notice. We've given this guy about 8 weeks. So he's had a full training camp. He's trained hard. He looks confident. He looked confident yesterday. And he looks strong. And he's here right now, and he's looking at me. So, it's not going to be an easy fight at all. That's what annoys me. Like, you'd think boxing fans would really look into someone because they're a fan of that sport. It's not like a football club signs a footballer player they've never heard of. Well, it doesn't mean he's a bad footballer, does it? Because you've never heard of him. Like, he can still be a good footballer. And you know what boxing's like, fighting in your away corner. It's like almost impossible to get decisions sometimes, unless you win it properly. And he did against...
It's almost as if you have to defend the quality of the opponent every time.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. I mean, it is frustrating, because these guys are decent. The problem with this guy, he hasn't fought maybe, like, see, like when Johnny fought Dominic Musil, people have watched him fight against Adelaide, and he gave Adelaide a hard fight for 4 rounds. Actually, people thought he was up at the time, so there was something to go off. But like, maybe as good as Nkosi Solomon was as an amateur, I don't think the UK fight crowd and audiences are massive. Like, no, they don't know too much about someone like Nkosi Solomon and whatnot. So, but like, at the end of the day, what's important for me, important for Johnny, important for S-Jam, important for Matchroom, is that we're getting the right development for Johnny. That's 2 southpaws who would have fought. So it's that experience, and then after this one, all being well, injury-free, and we get the W, Johnny will be stepping up in a title fight this year.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Going on to Joyce, your very good friend, someone that you manage as well. How's he getting on since the loss to Zhilei Zhang?
You know what? He's been doing great. Obviously, he's hurt and he's upset, as he would be, but he's doing well. We're ready to announce what's happening next. I mean, it kind of already has been, I guess, but not officially. But yeah, I'm really excited for him. He's really excited. He wants to get back in camp. He's already taken over in the gym now, feeling good. He's happy to an extent, but he's really, really ready to get back in the ring and prove the doubters wrong, and push and potentially get his belt back. But we'll see what gets announced soon.
Yeah, I mean, look, reflecting back on the loss, he was beaten by the better man. There was no apologies, there was no excuses, which was great to see as well. Someone of that caliber, and hopefully, the rematch. You're more or less saying it's going to happen, but hopefully the rematch happens and he gets his belt back on British soil. Yeah. But in the current landscape of things and the way things are looking as well, I'm not going to say what's next, but when we talk about fast tracking and Joyce and the age and everything like that, it's a has-to-win fight, isn't it? It's a must-win fight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, with that whole situation, I could actually really go into it. See, if the rematch happens and if we win the rematch, I will talk about the problems we had in that camp, yeah, but I respect Zhang too much, and I respect the performance he put in, and I respect Joe too much as well, because Joe would hate it if I did something like that, because he's just not that kind of guy. You saw him when he lost the fight, how respectful he was and how nice he was. He just isn't that kind of a human being. But there are a lot of things that could have been better, and a lot of things that could have changed. Listen, were there major issues? No, I'm not going to act like there was, but there were some problems that definitely did affect in the fight, but yeah, but we won't talk too much about that because I've got too much respect for Zhang and his team. They're lovely people, really lovely people, and let's hope we can see them again.
Absolutely brilliant. Very finally from me as well, Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez, Saturday night. I know you're not affiliated with the fighters, but still, as a fight fan, you'll be watching. How do you break that fight down? It's going to be a good fight, isn't it? Can't
wait. It's just a top fight, isn't it? It's going to be a war at some point. Two great fighters fighting each other. That's all we can ask for in boxing. That's all we want. It's the best to be fighting the best. Taylor's a fellow countryman of myself, both Scottish, and I know Taylor fairly well. I really want to see him get the W, and I think he will. I think Teofimo's changed a lot since that shock defeat to Cambosis. I think he had a lot of personal stuff going on in his life, and I think it's knocked his confidence a lot. And I don't think he's ever really been the same since. He hasn't looked too impressive in the last two fights. I actually thought Sandor Martin beat him anyway. And going in there against an aggressive animal, who I've been told has done the weight really well this time, in Josh Taylor, it's a very lonely place to be, but at the least it's going to be a great fight, and that's all you can ask for as a fight fan, isn't it? So.
Absolutely brilliant, Shane. Thank you, all the best from Punchout Boxing. We'll definitely catch up with you soon, mate, and good luck with S-Jam and Joe Joyce.
Top man, thanks, mate.
Cheers, man.